What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Should be a pretty quick video today, but just going to be replacing my headlights on my first gen Sequoia. Not the bulb, but the actual headlight housing. So these ones are super foggy and I know you can restore them, but I also wanted to kind of change up the look and install some 2005 to 2007 Sequoia headlights. So if you're not familiar with the first gen Sequoias, in 2005 they did what's called a facelift, where they just redesigned the bumper, they got some new headlights, just a few other small changes. So today we're going to be trying to retrofit some of the newer headlights into my older 2002 Toyota Sequoia. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and remove these original headlights. It looks like there are a couple 10mm bolts and maybe a couple push pins as well, so we'll start with those. Whoa, that just broke off, but now there's clears underneath. That's kind of cool. Both of these bulbs you can just twist, and then you can pull this out. Now, one important thing I learned with the headlight is what you need to do is remove this dust cover, and this plastic kind of piece down here, this you need to reinstall onto the new headlights. This allows you to mount your headlights like normally. As you can see, they have these kind of two tabs. This is where this headlight slides in and twists and locks into place. Without this tab installed into the new headlights, there's really no way to mount your old headlights into the new housing. So from the old housings, take off this plastic tab and just reinstall it into the new housings. And here we go on the new housing. Same thing, just flip this tab forward and you can just put this plastic piece in just like that, just like you normally would, and then reinstall this clip. Now with this clipped down, it just holds this little black plastic piece in place, and now you can mount your headlights like normal. To get these to sit right, you can see that we're going to have to do some trimming on the metal here. Just the position of the headlight bulge is a little bit farther to the right, so we're going to take a Dremel and cut some of that metal. Okay, so where we need to trim is kind of just right here where it sticks out. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this part out, making sure there's no wires in the way, and we can go for it. Now you want to apply some paint or some type of coating to where you cut the metal, otherwise this will rust. So I just have a little foam pad, it's pretty much all I could find, and we're going to spray some black paint and apply it. Alright, so I was just checking, same thing, we're just going to trim out this area here. Now, if you're also installing these headlights, this topple really needs to go in. I've messed around with trying to pick which bolts allow the headlight to sit the best, because you really can't get all three in. But this top one absolutely has to be in there. Otherwise, the side marker just does not line up right. So go ahead and get the top bolt in. This bolt on the left side or right side, depending on which side you're working on. This bolt that sits underneath the kind of side marker, that bolt should line up perfectly with the top bolt. So go ahead and get those two in. That's what I've done. This third bolt is the tricky one. It just doesn't really line up, and the bolt is not quite long enough to reach the threads just with the way the housing sits. So what you can do is either zip tie it or go ahead and get a longer bolt. I don't have a longer bolt right now, so I just went ahead and zip tied it. There's a little bit of movement, but it's not going anywhere. I just wanted to mention this because you can't get all three of the bolts in, but the ones you do want to do are the top one, and then this side one kind of that sits underneath the side marker. I just reinstalled the headlight bulb. In order to get it in, I did have to take off the engine filter air box, and on the other side I did have to remove the battery for them to fit in. So just wanted to mention that, because I didn't have to do that with the old headlights, but these ones just sit a little bit farther back and some of the stuff is more in the way. Let's go ahead and get the side marker in now. You can take these plastic covers off. Alright, so go ahead and install both of these bulbs. They just twist into place. There we go. And then this is a little tricky. I found the best way to do it is to slide this plastic piece underneath the fender, and then just kind of hammer it in, just like that. And then you can use a push pin for holding the side marker in, but I opted for zip ties on the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing here as well. Zip ties are just a lot easier for me. I don't like the push pins, they always seem to break. Zip ties, you can just quickly cut them and replace them, and I think they're quite a bit stronger than some of those push pins anyways. Alright guys, so both of the headlights are now installed. Honestly, it wasn't terrible. It took me just a couple hours. Most of that was messing around with it on this left side and just trying to figure out which bolts I could use to get it to line up. So hopefully on that second side, when I kind of show you guys which bolts to use, hopefully that speeds up your process if you're doing the same thing. One of the hardest parts might just be cutting out some of this metal pieces around where the headlight kind of sits. But if you have a Dremel, that makes it really easy. You could also use an angle grinder, but I like using a Dremel for any of these tighter areas. Sometimes an angle grinder just feels a little big when you're working like in a tight spot. So angle grinder, Dremel, either of those should work. You don't have to trim too much. I trimmed maybe like an inch and a half or so off the side, and that allows it to fit in there. Allows you to use the 05 to 07 headlights in kind of the first generation of the first gen Sequoia. So I think they look super great. I love the black housing and the blackout look with the black paint. I think it looks really great. Again, the fitment isn't perfect. I might mess around with it a little bit more, but it doesn't bother me too much. The hood isn't closed all the way, so don't mind some of these gaps, but there's just a little bit of a gap down below. I think this one, yeah, this side sits a lot better for some reason. I'm not sure why. The driver's side, there's a lot more of a gap, but who knows, aftermarket headlights. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop one below or send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram should be linked in the description. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.